Hey guys, Heidi Easley here, owner and founder of Texas Art and Soul, and I'm going to be sharing with you a butterfly painting in addition to using this stencil pack with Essential Stencil. So we're going to have some fun painting. So as you come on, just go ahead and say hello, tell me hi, tell me where you're from, and then we're going to do some painting. I brought my coffee. I hope that's okay with y'all today. So I'm going to be drinking coffee and painting with y'all and answering any questions you have. So I'm excited. So this is the stencil pack that I'm going to be using, and I'm actually going to be using the Hello Spring along to create my butterfly. All right, so let's see here. And this is kind of the butterfly that I'm going off of. It's one that I've painted in the past, but I'm actually going to change it up just a little bit so I can add my Hello Spring as well. So go ahead and let me know that you're here. I can't see any of your comments, so if somebody can comment, let me see if I can see it. And then I'm gonna pin this. Okay, and I pinned to the top where you can get the stencils. Oh, there we go, maybe I can see your comments. I'd love to see what y'all are thinking this morning, how y'all are doing. And I wanted to show you the ombre effect. So here, the ombre effect is just when it goes kind of, darker to lighter. I'm gonna be using these three. Hey Janet, hey Frankie, hey Christine. We got Iowa, am I saying that right? Iowa, I think so. I hope so. We got West Virginia, I believe that's what that one is. Okay, so here's what I do my ombre. I just shake my paints up and I just grab it and just squirt a little bit like that. And then I'm gonna start to mix them together, okay? So I am using an electric pink, a cadmium yellow, and an orange twist. And then I'm just gonna take one of these like bigger brushes that I can get from Lowe's or Michael's, and just start with the lighter, and I'm doing a figure 8. Just a figure 8, so it means I'm doing this with my brush, just a back and forth. Hey, good morning guys. Thanks for getting on and saying good morning. It's good to see y'all. I know it's been a few weeks since I've been on here. Oh, and I do have a free gift. How many of y'all's kids have gone virtual in the past week? It's been a little bit of a crazy time right now. And a lot of people, my daughter included, started doing, I'm going to wipe this off a little bit, started doing virtual classes now. So that's been little bit different. So I put together something cool for those of you that may be teachers, you may be trying to do, your first Facebook Live. Maybe you are doing Essential Stencil stuff and you love their stencils and you want to share their stencils on a Facebook Live. So I put together a little freebie. It's called learnfacebooklive.com. And all you have to do is go there and you can get a freebie. And it's actually behind the scenes of how I get, bless you. That was my husband sneezing. It's behind the scenes of how you can learn how to do a Facebook Live. And it's called learnfacebooklive.com. Okay, so when I do the ombre, see how that pink starts to really, really blend in? I'm just doing a light touch. Just a really light touch, okay? And the stencil set I'm gonna be using today is the 6-pack, the Easter mini set. And they have so many cute ones in here. So they have lots of different things. When I was coming up with this project, I just really was thinking about there's so many options that we could do. But, and I was almost going to put this on wood, but I really wanted to show y'all the butterfly. So how many of y'all like to paint butterflies? Let me know in the comments. Actually, let me know if you've ever painted a butterfly. If you have painted a butterfly, or if you've been wanting to, you just didn't know how. So I'm gonna show you a simple way. Oh, hey guys. Oh my gosh, we have some Paint Party Headquarters ladies on. Good to see y'all this morning. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of throw that in there. I'm going to blow dry this really quick. Okay, let me grab my blow dryer. It'll just take a second. Just talk amongst yourselves. I teach paint parties, and so if this was in a paint party setting, I would have said, hey, go grab some cheese sticks or get another drink or something like that. And then I would have let them have it dry, and then we would go back to it. So, oh, the Starry Night. Hey guys, I do have a majorly happening free event on Monday for the Starry Night. So those of y'all that want to learn Starry Night with me, I'm going to be teaching that free on my Texas Art and Soul page. So I'd love for y'all to join me. And kids are welcome too. So I've taught everything from 5 to 95 on Starry Night. I've literally taught that painting to thousands of people. So you're in good hands whenever you take it with me, I promise. This is one of actually this is a few of Pixie's that she's done. My daughter, some of y'all know Pixie. She did these. This one she did it back in 2016. And then this one she did, I think she was in 3rd grade when she did this one. So I always like to tell people, like, you know, have lots of fun with color, and, you know, I'm sure Van Gogh's not loving me for having the Starry Night made with different colors, but I think he will appreciate the fact that we're getting creative and still loving his art after all these years. Okay, so now I'm going to use black, and I'm also going to be using a palette knife. Let me know in the comments, hey Jan, hey Peggy, let me know in the comments if you have ever used a palette knife, because I'm going to show you a fun way to do some palette knife stuff. Okay, but before I do that, I want to draw on my butterfly, okay? So I'm going to be looking at this one just to kind of get, you know, sometimes it's good to have a reference. So I'm going to look at this one while I'm painting this one. So let me go ahead and get the hardest part of this, and you can always like make yourself a tracer, but the hardest part of this is just getting the wings to be the same. You know, has anybody ever struggled, like if you have painted a butterfly, getting the wings to be the same on both sides? So I'm going to concentrate for just a minute and paint this sucker on here. Okay. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to put a line. Again, I'm going to add to it, but I just want to get my basis. And I like to use the big flat brush because I like to get the paint on there and make it really flat, and then I like to draw it. I'm just kind of bringing it in, and then I'm just going to bring this one out and back up. Now here's the trickiest part, and just forgive yourself if it's not perfect, because it's art. We have to give ourselves grace if it's not exact. In other words, please give me grace right now if it's not exact as I freehand this. Okay, so that's really what I'm meaning right now. But yes, when you go to paint it, you got to give yourself grace too. Okay, so now I'm just going to thicken this up, and I'm just using this same brush to thicken it up, and I'm going to get a little bit more paint on my brush. Yeah, I attribute being able to paint with these big brushes to my years of teaching art. And a lot of times, if you've ever been an art teacher, you get asked a lot by your principal to help with spirit signs, which basically means it's 2 o'clock, there's a football game happening that evening, and they love to go to the art teacher and say, oh, we forgot, we need spirit signs for tonight's football, you know, whatever. And so sometimes, I know, you know, some of y'all may not think that's right or not, but I always would go, okay, you know, I would put off my lesson plan and jump on board, because I know kids love, you know, having school spirit and all of that as well. So what I would do is I would take a huge piece of butcher paper, and I would line the entire hall, like as long as I could. And then I would quickly, with black paint or a big Sharpie, I would quickly draw out like Go Team or whatever it is. And then as fast as I could, then I would give them tons of paint, and I would let them just put different decorations on every letter. So by the end of it, hey Mary, hey Elaine, By the end of it, it looked really cool. And then I would quickly, with black paint, I would go over it really fast. And so we could knock out some spirit posters like nobody's business, like fast. And the kids loved it because they were getting to be creative and do this cool stuff with paint that, and they were painting big. You know, if you ever follow me on Texas Art and Soul, I paint big a lot. I love to paint big, and I think there's something about when you paint big, it kind of gives you this confidence of like, well, if I can do that, I could do this. You know, this is way small. Maybe I could do. I don't know. It's just like a weird confidence. So if you've never painted big, I highly recommend it. It's really, really fun, especially right now. If there's been like a wall that you're like, oh. Like, I even painted my freezer, you know? So I don't know if anybody is into, like, painting because we have an old freezer. So years ago, I wanted to paint it, so I painted it. So think outside the box of the things that you could paint that would be really fun. And so I know right now is, like, a great time to be creative and to just paint something really fun. And so yeah, you know, it doesn't have to just be on canvas or wood. Like, get crazy, people. Get crazy. Okay, so now we have this. I'm just kind of bringing these over. I'm trying to do the best I can with making it symmetrical. This definitely symmetrical is not my strong suit. And then I'm going to be adding Happy Spring here in a minute. Okay, oh, not bad, huh? What do y'all think? It's pretty symmetrical. Yes, I did it under the pressure. Yay, okay, so I'm gonna let that dry for a minute while I show you a palette knife, okay? And then those of y'all that are just joining, let's see, have you ever painted a fuel barrel? No, I have not. That would be so fun. Those of y'all that are just joining, if you would let me know the craziest thing you've painted. So I have painted walls, floors, freezers, pretty much anything I can get my hands on, I paint. So I would love to know what has been like your most creative thing that you've painted on. So let us know in the comments. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Julie. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Yeah, this comes with lots of practice from doing those school posters I was telling y'all about. So not all was lost for helping volunteer to do some school spirit stuff, because it gave me a steady hand to be able to do this. Okay, so I'm going to add my little whatever. I don't really know a lot about butterflies, but whatever these are. Do y'all know what these are called? I don't know what they're called. I'm just gonna put it on there. Tentacles? Antennas? Is that what it's called? An antenna? Yeah, I love to paint. I paint a lot. So a lot of the floors in my house and previous houses have been painted. Murals, this whole art studio, which was a dining room. My husband, he's so great. He just lets me and my daughter kind of just go crazy. So I think too much sometimes because, you know, Pixie, she doesn't even ask anymore. You'll just be like, what are you doing? And all of a sudden there's like a huge thing painted in her room, or, you know, just randomness. But we just have like a lot of freedom to be able to just kind of create in this house, which I know not everybody has that, so I'm very, very thankful. So here's a palette knife. If you've never used a palette knife, oh, it is an antenna. Yes, I did it. Okay, so I'm just using a really pretty color. It's one of my favorites. It's called Sea Breeze. And then I'm just taking it, dipping it onto the palette knife. And guys, the real reason I love the palette knife so much is because of the noise it makes when I create with it. It's something like popping bubble wrap. It feels like, you know, that satisfaction feeling of popping bubble wrap. This has that satisfaction of scraping. So I'm going to let y'all listen to the sound. And Mary says, I haven't done it myself, but people paint miniature horses at birthday parties. They even sell special paint for them. Oh my gosh, you know, I saw in Shark Tank one time a dog paint that worked really well for, like, it doesn't hurt the animals. That would be so cool. So Teresa, for floors, you can seal it with like intense polyurethane, but honestly, I just paint it with acrylic and then I just let it go. I mean, it starts to wear off, but I really like that. So I'm a huge Junk Gypsy fan, and that company is all about kind of like, they have a lot of stuff that looks kind of rustic, like new but old, stuff like that. So I don't mind if it looks like it's been kind of, like weathered, I guess is the word to say. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you. Yeah, I love popping bubble wrap too, Ellen. Okay, so let me let you hear this. Can y'all hear that over my dog's little feet? Blue, stop walking. Stop walking. They can't hear it. Okay, y'all listen. I think he stopped. Hold on. Okay, he sat down. You can get these plastic too from Michael's, and they do the same thing, Michael's or Hobby Lobby. But it's almost like if you're, how art is therapy, for real, art is therapy, and art has gotten me through so many trying times. This is like one of those things where you can get out your aggression. So I want you to hear it. Let me put it up closer. Let me know if you can hear it, because it's a great sound. Hear that scrape? Can you hear it, Bobby? No. Can you hear it now? No. Dang it, Bobby can't hear it. I hope y'all can hear it. It's so fun. It's just like therapeutic. And when you do a really pretty color against like a neon or these bright colors, look at how cool it just makes it look. It just has a really great contrast, okay? Has a really great contrast. So since I'm gonna do my Hello Spring in white, I'm gonna stay away from any white in the butterfly itself. So with the palette knife, you just wanna wipe it off while it's wet. So I always just have some paper towels here to wipe off. And then now I'm gonna just add a few colors. So I'm gonna go back to some of the colors I was using. I squirted it on there, so I don't have any of those. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a liner brush and just kind of put in some colors. And we're kind of doing, this black is a little bit wet, so I'm really making this thick. Can y'all see that that's pretty thick? Oh, and I have an interesting way to give away the stuff at the end. So in a minute, I'll tell you how to what you need to do, because I'm going to give away 3 things. Okay, so I'm just adding some pink in there. I'm going to turn my brush over and just do some little orange dots. This is where you can get really creative with the butterfly, because there's, God has made some beautiful creatures out there. And so you can just get totally creative, have some fun with some color. I think, I did this one more of these shades because we have Easter coming up, and I wanted it, this one I feel like looks a little bit too fallish. But now that I'm looking at it on camera, in person, this is like a reddish, where this is a pink. So can y'all see the difference in that? Oh, thank you, Linda. Yeah, I know. I was wondering, like, one time I should probably, like, test it and try to do a whole Facebook Live where I just paint and don't talk at all and see if that helps, because I know I'm an oversharer. I tend to to talk a lot. So I'm just adding in some colors. I'm gonna go back to that turquoise color. Since we have it on the edges, I'm gonna put a little bit in the center. Oh, thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Donna. Lynette says, I think these could be left up all year round. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you know, sometimes when you're doing something, it's, you know, when you're putting yourself out there or when you're freehanding something in front of people, like you're hoping it turns out, well. I was telling somebody, let's see, just kind of adding that. Let's see, show us now. I understand how it's hard for me not to, hold on. Rose says, show us now. I understand how I'm doing. It's hard for me not to see you say, so I'm, oh, gotcha. Yeah, and we'll change, like at the end, we'll add the captions. Yeah. Teresa, I love when you talk a lot. That's awesome. You talking makes watching better. Oh, Ellen, thank you. You talk a lot, but give so many good tips that I have never painted. Oh, okay, Amanda, you have not painted before? Ah, you've got to start painting, especially with essential stencils. Like, you can just do the stenciling part. I mean, there's so many tutorials on this page that has you just doing like backgrounds and adding stencils. I like to, you know, get like some creative and add some of my art stuff with it and then add the stencils. But oh my gosh, there's so much you can add to it. Oh, thank y'all. Oh, that's true, Teresa. Oh, okay, good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad because a lot of times I wonder, I'm like, am I talking too much? Yeah, Donna says, I'm here by myself on the lockdown, so talk away. Donna, this is for you. Okay, good. All right, so I'm just going to keep talking then. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, so I've added just some colors. Another fun thing to do, again, turn it over on the back and then just kind of go in with some dots. You could get crazy creative and add some little, you know, I've kind of got a circular type feeling here, so I don't really want to add zigzags, but you could. And this is where you could get really crafty. So I've done another couple butterflies. I don't love this one very much, but this one I really like, and I'm gonna make this one really big for Paint Party headquarters. So I think they'll like that if it's really huge and make it big. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all are awesome. Okay, so we have some dots here. And then I want to do some dots over here and here, but I want to do my stencil first because I'm going to put the Hello Spring on here. Again, this is where you can get, you know, creative if you've never painted or you've painted before. And you can still use essential stencils with your art. So when I teach paint parties, I usually bring all of my essential stencils and any random stencils I have because I want them to get really creative. And especially if you're, honestly guys, whether you're new to painting or you've been painting since you were 15 like me, you still, or 14 like me, you still like using the stencils with it. You know, I watched I fell asleep during part of it, but I watched part of the Banksy graffiti, the thing that talked about the documentary, and he actually was the one that introduced stencils to the graffiti world. And so, you know, just because you're an artist, it doesn't mean you're less of an artist if you add a stencil into your painting. It's just the way you create it. Okay, I'm gonna blow dry this part right here so I can do the Hello Spring. All right, so I'm gonna do it in white. So I purposely did not do any whites because I knew I wanted to do this in white for it to have contrast, okay? So that's another thing with your stencils, if you're doing painted prayers, any of those types of things, you want to make sure you are, I'm going to do a smaller one with this. Essential Stencil, if you're watching, I really need to order some of your stencil brushes. I need to get some of those. Oh, Linda, I know. I wish you could come to one of my classes too. We are so excited to get ready to open those back up once all of this is done. Right now we're doing a lot of virtual classes. And like I was saying earlier, I'll be teaching Starry Night on Monday. That's a free class. So if anybody's interested, you can join. And your kids can do it too. So I keep, Pixie's done Starry Night with me so many times through being a student in my class as well as coming to paint parties. And yeah, I teach it to adults and kids. So it's just really fun to, I think the thing too about Starry Night is like, when you paint that, and the way I teach you, and walk you step by step, it's like, if you can paint that and you kind of do a decent job, you're like, okay, game on. I can do anything, It's like, gives you this confidence too. It's kind of like the painting big, it gives you this massive confidence. So that's what I love, like seeing people who've never painted, they might use their stencils to create with their design, and then it just adds to it. And then I'm going to actually do 2 coats on this. And there's, in this 6-pack, there's a bunch of different ones. So you can see, and I pinned to the top how you can get the stencil. So there's a bunch of different ones. So you can order the pack and then do, a bunch of different ones. Wouldn't it be so cool, like especially with everybody home right now, or even if you're by yourself, to do like 6 different canvases, or maybe you do the Happy Easter, the Hello Spring, but you do different butterflies, and maybe you have like a set of 3 butterflies, and then you have these different messages on them. I think that would be so cute. And then you could basically keep the colors still in the same color family, but then just change them just a little bit. So maybe you do some purples with these pinks so that they match together, and then just kind of like hang them up all 3 together. I think that would be a really, really fun project. I can't say my words. Yeah, definitely. Y'all need to order some. The last time I did the Big Bunny spring one, that video like literally had like 2-point-something million views. And they sold out. Like they were sold out of those stencils. And so I know it was a really, really popular one. So sometimes you got to like buy them when you can, because, especially with things, being sold out so fast. I mean, I don't know, with the crazy toilet paper situation, it's like, what the heck? You just don't know when you can get what you want to get. All right, coffee break. Let me have a drink real quick. I'm just really thankful Starbucks is still open. Okay, so this, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up, and if it's not exactly, I probably should let it dry and do another coat, but if it's not exactly where I want it, I'll just kind of clean it up. So I have the Hello Spring. I'm gonna go with my smaller brush and just kind of clean it up a little bit. And those of you that are really good at stenciling, I know you probably take more time to like tape it down and make it just like really, really on there. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a painter. I just get impatient. So I just get the basis on there and then I just quickly go over it. So either way, there's no right or wrong way. Well, I guess there is a right way. I just choose to do this way because I just love to paint, and there's something like methodical about doing this that just makes me happy. So I just do the stencil on there really fast, and then I just go over it real quick. Lynette says, Starbucks, who you telling is lose my mind, gotta have my coffee. I know, right? I know. I bought coffee to make it home, of course, because always gotta have backup coffee. But now that we're shelter in place, I'm like, does that that means, right, we can still go there. That's necessity. Necessity of life is coffee. Plus, you want to, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, for as long as I can, I want to keep my local businesses going, so I'm trying to, I know it sounds weird, but trying to eat out if I can. We have to drive through. But, some of my favorite places, I'm like, I don't want them not to be gone when all this happens, It's like, if you can afford to instead of buying your meal from a grocery store, which they're getting plenty of money right now, if you can, get from your favorite place, as long as you feel safe about it. My thing is like, I want these people to be here when I'm, when all this is over. So how can we get them through this and support them? Same thing with all the businesses you love. You want them to get through this hump and get through all of this. And I know everybody's, in different situations, but I think one of the biggest things I've learned through this past few weeks, and I'll just tell y'all this, and I'll go ahead and give y'all the winner. I've learned a couple of big things, but one of the ones is you got to give people grace. Like everybody is not sure how to handle this, and I think we're so quick to. I'm going to add some color on this butterfly. I think we're so quick to. Oh, nice to see you too, Brenda. Thank you so much, Ellen. We're so quick to judge people on like anything. We're just so quick to judge people. And I feel like it's so, like now more than ever, we have got to give people grace. I mean, this is, regardless of how you feel about any of this, this is historic. This is a time in history. And I think sometimes people are just so fast to be mean to each other, whether it's out of fear or whatever they got going on. But we have to remember, like we're in this all together. We're all trying to make the best decision we can for our family, and to before we type something mean, before we type something mean, think about it. Just take a second and think about it. Do you want that to be out there? In this digital world, and it's so easy to just type something and to go and hide. But, there's people out there that are really trying, to do something good, or they think they're doing something right. And you can't please everybody. Oh my gosh, you cannot please everybody. And so I think it's really important that during this time, you don't know where each person's coming from. Some people are like, oh my gosh, don't go anywhere, and then the other person's like, well, essential employees, they got to go to the grocery store and work, right? And so we can't be totally judgmental, because we're all just trying to deal with this, right? We're all just trying to do the best we can and pray like crazy for it to, I was telling, the Paint Party headquarter girls, I was like, I so wish I could just wave a magic wand and make all this go away. But that's not how it works. So we have to choose how we want to spend our time. And I don't know about y'all, but painting is so therapeutic to me. So therapeutic. I mean, it's what's gotten me through so many hard times. And so instead of me just, not saying I'm not binging on some Netflix from time to time, but instead of just me only doing that, what can I create during this time? What can I make really cool? There's a really cool Alice in Wonderland painting I've been saying I'm going to do forever that's going to go on my porch. It's going to be the size of a piece of plywood. And I've been saying it forever. And I'm like, I need to do that. Now we have time. The world has slowed down a little bit. Now I have time. I need to make that happen. And so what in your house, has there been a room you've been wanting to paint? Is there a painting you've been wanting to stencil? Is there something you've been wanting to make happen? So there's the stencil on there. So I just want to say, wherever you're at, just give people grace. We're all trying to handle this as much as we can. Yeah, definitely. I know it's scary for everybody, you know. And I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, you know, we all have our moments where we're like, especially if you own a business or you've lost your job, like we all have our moments where we you know, have that breakdown or that time where we're like, oh, this is so, you know, this isn't cool, like what is happening? But then how can you grow from it? Like nothing comes from being comfortable. And so there's so many things that you can that maybe you haven't had the time for. So anyway, maybe it's painting a butterfly. I don't know. But I'm going to tell the winners. I'm going to do it a new way. And then this is the finished product. So it's just like a hello spring with a butterfly. So I hope y'all liked this little tutorial and just the ombre effect. You can do the ombre with a bunch of different things. And then if you want to order these, please use my link. It's in the caption. And then they have these in stock right now. So those of y'all that do paint parties, I always recommend getting the season, like getting them when you can, because even if you're, you know, not doing in-person paint parties right now, you might be doing something online, or you're going to need it next year. Like there's never a time when you're not going to need decent stuff like this. Yeah, Ellen, so we only, like what I'm doing on the weekends. So during the week, I'm only doing 10 minutes total. And then on the weekends, I get off of Facebook totally, and I get off of the news totally. And so what that did, especially last weekend, was so good because, you know, I was in this like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And, you know, I was in the frenzy, right? The anxiety of it all. And so I was like, nope, I'm going to put on my Hallmark movies. I'm going to paint, and I'm going to clean my art studio. So I got so much done. So I challenge y'all to stop looking at right now and to really like just get in a dream state and start dreaming and start painting and start creating. So I challenge you to do that. It's so therapeutic. And you don't want to look back on this time in a year and go, all I did was worry. Like nothing can happen when you worry. Like that accomplishes nothing. So don't worry, like spend some time to create. Somebody said Christmas, Ruth. Yeah, I already started on Christmas. This is what I did during the weekend. I started painting Christmas. So I'm already getting designs ready for you know, parties in the fall, parties in Christmas. So very, very excited. Okay, so I'm going to pick a winner. Now I'm going to do it a little bit different. Okay. So I want you, I've already written the number down on a piece of paper. I'm going to pick the first 3 people that guess this number right, okay? And you're so welcome. Thank y'all for being here. Oh, and then real quick, if you want to learn how to do your own Facebook Live, maybe you've been called to teach online or something like that, go to learnfacebooklive.com, and then you'll be able to see a behind the scenes of me teaching you how to do that. So it's called learnfacebooklive.com. Okay, so the first 3 people that guess my number will win the 3 stencils from Essential Stencil, okay? All right, so the number, oh, I was about to tell you all the number. You need to guess a number between 1 and 10, okay? So I'm going to pick the first 3 people that guess my number between 1 and 10. All right, so I'm going to write them down because I don't want y'all to see my number. You're welcome, Janet. Okay, so let's see who guesses. I already have the number written down. The number 1 through 10. Okay? I'm going to pick the first 3. I'm watching. I'm writing names down if they get it. 1 through 10. Oh, you can only do 1. Only put 1 number. Don't put it several times. That would be cheating. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got him. Okay, the first 3. Okay, the number was 8. So I had written this number down before I ever did the Facebook Live. And the 3 winners are Tammy Tippin, you guessed first. Then Susan Anderson, you guessed second. And then Kathy Faros, Faros, you guessed third. Okay, so I wrote the number down before I ever even started this live. So those are the 3 winners. So Tammy Tippin, Susan Anderson, and Kathy Faros. So congratulations. Okay, guys, I just want to leave you with give people grace, have lots of fun, spend this time creating. What do you want to create during this time? And then also, if you have not got your Easter pack yet, the 6-pack, make sure you, 6-pack, get your 6-pack while you create with the 6-pack. No, I'm just kidding. So get your Easter stencils and click the link to grab that today, and I would appreciate it. All right, guys, I hope y'all have a great day and be safe out there.